Hello. And welcome back to this podcast. I know that I took a month off. I just want to say the elephant in the room here. I am trying to get on my podcast deal. That's why I didn't post. Anyways, this is going to be the end of the season. I think I'm going to get on my deal. So excited. Literally so excited. I will be posting still regularly, regardless of if I'm in a deal or not. I will be doing it in season, so I will have a slight break, and then I will come back in like a couple weeks. I'm going to have, I think, 2 more guests, and then the season will finally close. This will be my last solo episode, so I'm going to title this like closing the season, but I think there's going to be 2 more interviews. So, yeah. Anyways, just because I have 2 interviews scheduled, so they just have to go out. And yeah, and I know I said I wasn't going to do any more solo episodes, yet here I am. But I had to do a solo episode to kind of explain what was happening to anyone that cares. But yeah, so anyways, yes, that's it. And I thought for this podcast episode, I would do a old school fucking podcast session. I will talk about my week briefly, just because I've gotten better at this, and you guys like when I do that. So I also learned recently that you should just kind of not do what people want. Otherwise, I'd be doing way other shit, and I would look completely different. And I would, if I really cared about doing what everyone wanted me to do, truly, I would look completely different. Because I know no one likes that I look like this, except for me. Everyone prefers me to have like a sexy whatever thing. I only say that because I get comments every day. Honestly, like, I am just gonna do what I want to do. Sorry. But because I think that's more fun, and I think I'll be happier with myself at the end of the day, and I think that's the ultimate goal. Anyways, okay, so my week. Not currently, but people noticed that I kind of lost weight recently. I tried to gain it back, actually. I think I kind of successfully did. But I lost around 10 pounds over the span of like 9 months. And I was so skinny. I was like 98 pounds, which is the skinniest I've ever been in my life. That's more than 10 pounds because I'm normally like around 110. A little less than that. And I got down to 98. That's fucking crazy. It was because of this medication that I was on. And I started looking so bad in my face that I was like, yeah, no, I don't want to be this skinny. Like, I just really don't. But I found that interesting. I'm not going to say the medication because I don't want anyone to go get it. But it wasn't Adderall, as a hint. It was just for my dissociation. But I stopped taking it, and I've started to gain a little bit of weight back, and I've been trying to get it back. So that's kind of what's been going on in my life a little bit, I guess. What else has been happening? Let me think about it. I have been recently more into power recently. That's what my psychiatrist told me to read, the 48 Laws of Power. So I'm reading it slowly but surely. And I found it very interesting how naive I am to some things about people. But that's life. And yeah, I think it's safe for everyone to say that they're naive to everything. As much as I would love to be like, yo, like, I fucking know everything that's going on. I'm so fucking naive, and it's insane. Especially to people's behavior and to people's, I don't know. But honestly, read the 48 Laws of Power if you haven't. It's very eye-opening, and it's very informative. And I think I'm on like Law 12. I don't know. But I'm taking notes on all of it because I want to remember it, and I want to absorb it. Other than that, other things I'm reading and other things. I'm listening to Rick Rubin's audiobook called, I always forget the name. Oh, The Creative Act, A Way of Being. It's really good, actually, if you're in the creative industry and you're a creative person or create. I recommend you check out that audiobook or normal book. I'm just doing audiobook because I wanted to listen to an audiobook right now, and Rick Rubin narrates it, and he has such a great voice. So I was like, that's one I could kind of do an audiobook for, not read it, just for when I like am getting my nails done or something. Like, I don't like listening to music in that situation. Like, I will sometimes, but why? See, this is where I'm like, no one cares about what I'm fucking saying. This is where I have a hard time. Like sometimes information's fine, and then I like start talking about my like I don't know, whatever. Um, but yeah, it's good. And um, yes, I did get my license. That's another thing. And yeah, I don't have a car yet because my credit score is so bad. And I need a parent to like co-sign with me. Both my parents don't live in America. So I asked my stepmom. And she got like fucked over with by my dad with the house here. So she's like refinancing the house. I think that's what you do. I think that's what it's called. And so when you refinance a house, you can't like lease a car. Um, it's like it goes against your credit score. So I can't get a car because I don't have another like parent to like help me get it. Um, and she can't get it until the house is like finalized. So I'm just like sitting here with no car. I did rent a car for like a couple days when my friend was here on this app. Because I'm not old enough yet to rent a car, but I will be. But yeah, this is just a little of what's going on in my life that I don't think anyone really cares about. But apparently, this is entertaining to some people. So, yes. But I really like having my license. I still have the rental car. And I have to give it back at like 11 o'clock tonight. So I'm going to definitely do some crazy shit with it tonight. I did last night. I like drove up to all these lookouts by myself. I was like, this is so cool that I have a car. It's really exciting. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, now into the questions. The world is apparently so hard for myself to bear that I physically must escape to somewhere else. Dash Charlotte D'Alessio. That's a tweet that I wrote. And then the person says, who are you talking about? Do we know them? Do you follow them on TikTok or IG? How many new people have you followed in 2013? Are you going to follow any of your Tumblr followers on TikTok? I'm not going to go in depth, but I think that's funny because I'm talking about myself. I'm literally making fun of myself. I have such an avoidant personality that anytime I'm in any sort of like not physical, like mental, emotional pain, anytime, my first thought is I don't want to feel this ever again. And how do I avoid that? And how do I avoid feeling this right now? I'm not like a dweller in the pain. I can sometimes, but for the most part, I'm escaping that like immediately. And I've talked about escapism and stuff in pretty much so many of my podcasts, so I don't want to get like too into that. But yes, I just like it's just like funny and comical to me at this point, like how little I can actually bear. I have like no tolerance to pain. None. I'm just such a pussy. I just beat out of there. And then I see people who just really take it in full and just let them deal with it in a healthy way. And I'm like, how do people deal with pain in a healthy way? I've never done that. I literally have no idea. If anyone has a healthy way to deal with pain, I am so the last person to give advice on that. So the last person. And I've realized that more as I've gotten older, like how bad I escape. And it's gotten only worse over the years. So yeah, I don't think I'm someone that should give advice. And there's certain things I'm just going to keep to myself on this podcast, as I should. Yeah. And this is one of them. How do I get over him? I wake up and think about him every day. That's tough. Matters of the heart, you just got to let it go. Like there's no real stopping it. I'm someone that my friends think I can shut off my emotions. And I more so think it's like a detachment. Like I can detach really easily from things. Not easily, but I can detach from things if I want to. If I decide I'm like, and if I don't want to attach to something, I won't. Like I get to mentally decide when I attach. Like I don't decide for me. I mean my emotions doesn't decide for me. But matters of the heart, like no matter how hard you fucking try, even me, like you just gotta let that shit go by itself. So I was talking to my friend about like death because whatever. Her mom died and like within the year, and she like was torturing herself like so much with like ruminating on the guilt of it and like, did I do enough? Which is so common. And like, because it's so common, it made me think about like just how we operate like as a system in our head to grief. And kind of like mourning a guy in some way, which is kind of what you're talking about, is similar. And so I almost think that your brain has to go through this torture cycle where you torture yourself so much over and over and over again of ruminating, of like all the things you could have done differently, all the like bargaining aspects of like a relationship or like grief or death. Like this applies to a lot of things. But I see it a lot in relationships, and death, honestly. So I think your brain has to go through almost a process of like thinking about this boy, relentlessly, as much as you would like to, because you've tried, I'm sure, everything. And I like certain things just don't work. If your body and mind want to think about a topic, I could give you a list of things that I do that help me, and I can give that to you, but you're still going to probably not being able to resist to a certain level. Here's my thing. I listen to music. I put on a song in my living room and I listen to music and I dance around in my apartment or I go on a walk. Those are my two things. But that's the thing. Like those things, you can try them and you're still going to go back to that. And I'm not saying that to be negative of like, oh, maybe she's not going to, but I just get it. Like I get that there's certain things that you fixate on, and like that's just, you have to sign on to that. There's certain things that I fixated on where like certain aspects of like grief and senses of death and stuff like that where you just don't stop thinking about it. So my point is, I think part of the human condition is almost like torturing yourself to a point where your brain goes, I've had enough. It's time to move on. And it does eventually. And it does for everyone. And if it's a death, that pain will always still be there. Same with this whatever boy. But eventually, in time, you will decide that enough is enough. It's weird how we like do that. We can't just skip that step for some reason. We can't just skip the torture cycle. We have to torture ourselves first. We have to. Apparently, like at least me and some other people like have to some level. Like we can't just go straight to acceptance of, like we just can't. At least me. Again, like I don't want to project, but certainly me. I like love to torture myself. I love to hate everything about everything I do. I just love it. It's like some weird fucking addiction where I get to like judge myself so harshly and just beat her up emotionally. Like I love it. And I'm trying not to do that as much, and I've kind of stopped. So, but do I like it any less? No, I still like the same. Literally a question on Tumblr. Sharp, please bring back your old style vibe. I'm for even a week minimum, if you must. I'm begging. That was absolutely iconic prime in Capitals era. I feel like you'd grow more, especially on Insta with that. Thank you. I get it. My goal in life isn't to be Instagram famous, but if it was, I feel like I would have really gone there. Not to be like that, but I mean like if I cared like to like if that was my priority in life, you'd see I'd be posting a lot more. I can't do that. What is the appropriate amount of time I should spend before hooking up with a guy? That's a good question. I don't really think there is one. I think just go with however you feel. I don't really know. I'm so bad with this kind of stuff. I personally like don't really hook up with many people. I like maybe we'll see like one person a year. I just kind of do my own thing. And like literally like one person, maybe two on like a crazy year. Like if I'm getting really crazy. So my thing is like, I kind of like, I don't rarely like people or even interested in people. So for me, I'm just kind of like, if I'm interested, like I'm in, like I'm down. But for some people, because I know what I want. So once I see it, I'm like, great, like I'm in. I'm committed to this. Like I think you're hot. Like, that's just how I am, because I don't really like that many people. So I don't really like to talk to anybody. But some people like play, which I get, like, it's more just strategic in that sense of like, I don't know. This is a really tough question, actually. I don't think there's an appropriate amount of time. I say do it, like, hook up with whoever you want whenever you want. Like, literally, I don't really care what I mean, it's not like I don't care, but I mean, my point is, it's not my business what other people do, and I don't think that you should think about it in kind of like technical terms like that. I think just go with how you feel, and that's it. If you want to hook up with a guy, you should hook up with them. I don't like see it as a big deal. Yeah, I don't know. For me, it's different because I don't really want to hook up with that many people. So, like, I don't have to. If some guy's taking me out on a date and I don't want to hook up with him, no part of me is like resisting with willpower of like, oh my God, I don't want to, like, I'm not going to hook up with this guy because, like, whatever. I just don't. I'm like not interested. So I just don't want to hook up with them. It's like very rare that I'm like down. But yeah, so this is tough. I think do it whenever you want. I don't know. Is this like bad advice? I don't know. I don't know if this is bad advice or not. I don't know, because I just like never want to hook up with anyone. So like, I don't know. This might be terrible advice. Do whatever you want. I think that's what you should do in life. Yeah. I think if you know that the guy respects you to some level, that helps. If the guy doesn't respect you, wait until he does. That would be my advice on that. Don't sleep with a guy that doesn't respect you. Yeah, unless it's for fun. Unless you're okay with it. Unless you don't care, which is fine. Like, literally, live your life. I'll live mine. No part of me wants to dictate how anyone should live their life. I'm totally fine with whatever. I kind of just want to keep it short. I know those 2 questions were like nothing, but I don't want to make this a long podcast. It's kind of just random questions. And if you want me to answer more, answer on Tumblr. I'll link it below. And actually answer, I read it pretty much everything. So I will see your question and I will probably read it. Anyways, thank you so much for an amazing second season of my podcast. And I will see you for season 3.